Welcome again to our channel. It's Victor here, and today I want us to totally talk about a different issue altogether. We are happy because Faith Kipyegon has made us proud. She just broke the world record on 1,500 meters race, and it was such an emotional moment for me because when I watched that live, at the last lap when that final bell was rung, she was gasping and ensuring that she gives her closest opponent that large distance. And I could feel myself moving with her. I could feel myself also pushing the way she was pushing and tightening my stomach and everything so that she could cross over and beat that record. And immediately she did that, I found myself shedding tears and crying and saying, "Whoo, she's made us proud." But I took 5 minutes to just think about that moment and how she was happy and how she worked and made Kenya great. Then something clicked in my mind and I remembered, but we are in Kenya. And then tribe. I just thought about tribe deliberately. And I realized that surely Kenyans by themselves are people who are determined to be great. And in fact, they strive and they work hard. But now I remembered that despite the fact that she's a Kalenjin and I am a Luo, I could feel she's part of me, you know? I could feel she's part of me because she's Kenya. And then I realized that there is that identity in being Kenyan. You realize that now, when you're out there, that feeling transcends tribe, it transcends any difference that exists between us. And this led me into asking myself, what is wrong with us as a country? Because you realize that when it comes to making important decisions like elections, where we are electing someone who is supposed to change the destiny of our nation today and for future generations, then we limit ourselves to things like tribe and every other thing. And that is why you realize when Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua comes with the issue of shareholders, it really baffles me, and I ask myself, does he even qualify to be a leader in this country? When he was watching that moment, did he look at her like a shareholder, or did he look at her like a Kenyan trying to work hard to ensure that her country is held high among community of nations? And this brings me to this question. Right now, the raging issue is the question of finance bill. And in the parliament, we have different factions of parliamentarians, where we have those who call themselves Azimio parliamentarians and those who call themselves the Kenya Kwanza parliamentarians. If you look at that formation, they should use this spirit of Faith Kipyegon to go and address the issues that are in that bill, looking at Kenya and looking at Kenyans and their desire to grow and their desire to achieve more. If you create punitive taxes that will limit the space for manufacturing to grow, the president keeps talking about construction industry giving us employment, but then we have different sections of the economy to open up. We are not only to open up construction for plumbers, for masons, for welders, for fitters. We have a whole long chain that we should look at how to ensure that these people are all absorbed. And that is why I say certain taxes that have been proposed by the government to the manufacturing sector, things like withholding tax, they should not be submitted within 24 hours. Things like dispute, 20% of tax dispute to be deposited before you conclude the case. These are things that will make businesses collapse. Eh? So when you also bring this issue of 3% of taxes from the employer, you are trying to milk the country dry. You are not opening up more spaces, and instead, the little that is there, you are squeezing it and milking everything out of it in the name that you are going to create employment in another sector. This is totally wrong. Today, I heard, in fact, I listened in the night, I listened to the space where PS Hinga, president, was also in attendance. Dennis Itumbi also attended, was also a listener, and in fact, he also contributed. The questions that Kenyans were asking were very pertinent. And at some point, I was lost of words because Charles Hinga looks like he does not have answers. When Kenyans ask, this is the government that has promised us everything, but now you want it to come and deduct my money, then promise me that after a certain number of years, it is going to give me a house. If it cannot deliver a small thing, a small promise that it made, how can we as Kenyans believe that when we give it money, it will deliver on those bigger agendas? So these are some of the issues that are making Kenya Kwanza regime face serious challenges. But regardless of the challenges that we face, regardless of the issues that we have around us, let us take this moment to think about our Kenyanness, to think about the need for us to grow together and ensure that Kenya becomes a great nation among community of nations. Just as Faith Kipyegon and Omanyala has done to us, let us ensure that we also work towards sustaining a great country, a developed country, and let's never forget about the Vision 2030 that our great president, Emilio Mwai Kibaki, left with us so that we can achieve greatness within the time that we have here. Thank you. That was just a parting shot.